America's Soccer Dad coming to you from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Wassalamualaikum. Waalaikum salam. Apa kabar, and everything else that they say here. So, my experience so far in Kuala Lumpur has been great. Want to give you some insight on what I learned when Ellie trialed for a U10 boys team. I'm of the thinking that if your daughter is good enough to play with boys and if she has the mentality to do it, she should play with boys. I get that girls are similar to boys and all that stuff, but the best players are boys at this age. I know people are going to complain about that, but that's just what I think. So when I took her there, there's a lot of expatriate boys, boys from Malaysia. We're here in Mount Kiara, which is a very nice neighborhood in KL. And the first thing that Coach IB from KDH Football Academy said was to have the kids juggle. So the kids are juggling. Some kids can do, four. Other kids could do like maybe 10. Um, but Ellie was, of course, the guest player and on trial, and she had a good practice. But to get back to the juggling, after the practice, I asked Coach IB, Coach, how do you think Ellie did? I knew she did great. Sometimes I think maybe I'm delusional, but I think she's better than most boys her age. I'm not saying she's the best player in San Francisco or even here in Malaysia, but she's pretty good and she puts in a lot of work. And he said that when he saw her during the warm up, the first, 10 minutes, actually the first 30 seconds when she was juggling, he said that he knew from that point that she would move directly to the A team of the U10 boys. And I guess there was three teams there. There was like 20 kids there, 22. And he said because when she juggled, he could see the touch, he could see the control. And this is something that I've been working on with Ellie just about every day this summer for 30 minutes a day, being able to juggle the ball, not just kicking it hard or blasting it to the other side of the field, but to actually have some thought and actually have some touch and juggle. And Coach IB said, he's from Nigeria, but he's living here in Malaysia, married to someone who's from here. And he said, juggling at this age tells him that if they can juggle, they have a good first touch and they have control of the ball. And Ellie certainly has that. So that made me feel good because one of the things that I want her to do is be able to do 50 consecutive juggles. Um, most kids on her team, I'm sure, cannot do 50. Most boys cannot do 50. Uh, but Ellie has hit 40, so we're not quite there. But this is just for all the U9, U10 parents. My daughter's 8 years old. Focus on that juggling, especially in America, because in America, most of the kids who play soccer, they play it at practice or something that's part of their schedule. They have a private, they have 2 or 3 practices, but they don't really touch the ball outside of when they have to go into the practice, go into private training or whatever. Whereas in basketball, kids always have the ball, right? In backyard, in the house, all that stuff. And so I'm going to keep on this path of Ellie being a great juggler because if she can hone that now, then she's going to be much better than her peers at the same age. Oh, and another thing, I'll come out with another video. You shouldn't play in your own age, especially if you're a girl. But this is America's Soccer Dad telling you, juggle. Don't just blast it. Don't just try to do the crossbar challenge. I feel good knowing that most kids can't juggle because when they start, it's frustrating. They get 3 or 4 and they quit. Um, or if you're a parent like my wife and I, we have to make sure Ellie juggles. And she gets frustrated too, but if Ellie's not having a good day, then my wife and I help to push her through that. 90% of the parents won't do that. And those same kids, when they get frustrated after juggling for 5 minutes, they're going to quit anyway. So Ellie and I just have to worry about the 10% of y'all with the kids who have the parents that will make them juggle. Those are the ones we got to worry about. The 90% of the kids we don't have to worry about anyway. But if you're one of the 10%, hit that like, hit that share. We out here in Malaysia. Maybe Malaysia soccer dad. Probably going to go back to America, but that's a whole nother story. Peace out.